What is going on? What is popping, YouTube world? My name is Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice because that's my nickname. Appreciate you guys for watching today. Be sure to smash this like button right about now, so it does help these videos get out to the public and the channel to grow overall. Subscribe to my channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly, almost every single day if I can, and turn on post notifications too, so you don't miss a single one of those videos that I post. It's only right, you guys. So this week, guys, the Houston Texans will travel to Baltimore, Maryland to face Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. So what does that mean? Deshaun Watson versus Lamar Jackson this week, baby. Man, it's going to be such a great game. I'm going to be tuned into that game. That's the one game that I'm really going to circle this week to watch. It's going to be some fun, exciting fireworks in that game, in my opinion. I want to see these two quarterbacks play and go at it. Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson. I do believe that Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson are the future of the NFL. They both, to me, right now are two top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And I believe that down the road, both of these quarterbacks are going to give us multiple great matchups, you know, potentially in the playoffs as well, because I do think the Ravens and the Texans with Lamar Jackson, with Deshaun Watson, both of these teams are set to succeed for a long time with these quarterbacks that they're playing at an elite level. And I do believe that Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson are going to at some point meet in the playoffs and have some big time showdowns down the road. I think it's going to be a great game. I do expect the Ravens, however, to win just because I think they're the better team. Houston's on the road. They're not better than the Ravens. I think the Texans are a piece or two away from being a true Super Bowl contender. Meanwhile, the Ravens, they look like the best team in football right now, and they're playing at home, so I do expect them to knock off Houston. However, in this video, I want to focus on the two quarterbacks in this game, Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson. I'm going to tell you guys who I think is better right now, meaning if I could build a real team behind either quarterback, who would I take? Who do I start my franchise with right now? Who do I think is the better overall quarterback, and who overall is probably going to have the better career if I were to project based on what I've seen from them both so far? So I'll get right into this right now. To me, I think the better quarterback and the quarterback I would take to start my franchise with is Deshaun Watson. And it's no slight against Lamar Jackson. It's really not. I think both are top 10 quarterbacks. I think Deshaun Watson is more closer to being a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And I think Lamar Jackson is on the bottom tier of the top 10 right now. And I'll explain, you know, why I think that Deshaun is better. When we look at quarterbacks that have won multiple Super Bowls, and when we look at quarterbacks that have been all-time greats, quarterbacks that have won multiple MVPs, and Lamar Jackson may very well win MVP this year. I think he's having a slightly better year than Deshaun, but who are those quarterbacks? Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Rodgers, Staubach, Terry Bradshaw, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, you know, John Elway, Drew Brees. All those quarterbacks are elite throwers of the football. I think Lamar Jackson is a solid thrower of the football, but Deshaun Watson is now starting to border on that elite thrower of the football category. Deshaun Watson is just a flat-out better thrower of the football than Lamar Jackson. And people, you know, I think that Lamar Jackson's playing style is more closer to, I would say, a Michael Vick or a Cam Newton. And Michael Vick and Cam Newton are great quarterbacks. I do think Cam Newton is going to go down as an all-time great. He potentially could make the Hall of Fame. Michael Vick was a dynamic player for a long, long time. But the way these two quarterbacks play, you know, Lamar Jackson, he depends on his running to be a successful quarterback. And that's not a knock against it. That's the way he plays. That's fine. But if Deshaun Watson were to not rush for any yards in a game, if he were to rush for 0 yards in a game, I still have confidence that he can throw for 400 yards or 300 yards and about 3 or 4 touchdowns and win in the pocket solely, okay? Obviously, Deshaun Watson, you know, he rolls out, you know, he makes some plays on schedule, but if Deshaun Watson's athletic ability, if teams were to take away his ability to run the football, I still believe you can win playoff games with Deshaun Watson, because Deshaun Watson, he can win within the pocket. It's not to say Lamar Jackson cannot do that, but consistently, Lamar Jackson does not do that. And I think Deshaun Watson, the way he plays, is more sustainable. And what I mean by that is, Lamar Jackson, last year, he beat the Chargers in the regular season. Okay, that's great. But when the playoffs came around, what did the Chargers do? They game planned for Lamar Jackson, and they were able to shut Lamar Jackson down. Now, I will admit, Deshaun Watson had a bad playoff game versus the Colts at home. And Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson this year are going to need to redeem themselves in the playoffs, in my humble opinion. But either way, getting to my point, Lamar Jackson, the blueprint for Lamar Jackson, he's only been playing and he's only started 16 games, okay? So I really, truly don't believe that the way Lamar Jackson plays is going to last as long as the way Deshaun Watson plays, meaning that you can win multiple Super Bowls playing the way Deshaun Watson plays, and Deshaun Watson can put up great numbers and be an elite quarterback for another 10, 15, 20 years if he stays healthy the way he plays. He can beat man coverage. He can fit the ball into tight windows. He reads defenses better. He's a better thrower off schedule than Lamar Jackson. Deshaun Watson just flat out, the way he plays, the way he throws the football, his ability to throw the football allows me to do more things as far as beating playoff teams and better defenses down the road. Now again, we have to see Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson play better in the playoffs, but the thing about Lamar Jackson is, when you talk about value to a team, Deshaun is much more valuable to his team than Lamar is to his team, okay? When we talk about Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson, listen, the Ravens do not ask Lamar Jackson to do a lot of difficult things. They keep the game playing very vanilla for Lamar Jackson. And I think Lamar Jackson over time can develop into doing much more tougher things and being asked to make more tougher throws. But one of the reasons why the Ravens do not ask Lamar Jackson to throw the ball as much as Deshaun and to make as many complicated throws as Deshaun is because, well, for one, I don't think he can do it right now. Lamar Jackson, if you ask him to throw the ball 30 or 40 times, if you take away his ability to run the football, he's toast. At this point in his career, Lamar Jackson is toast if he cannot run the football effectively in a game. You know, last year, Deshaun Watson completed over 68% of his passes and won 11 games and threw for 4,000 yards behind the worst offensive line in football. Can Lamar Jackson do that? I am not so sure. And also, Deshaun Watson has a suspect head coach in Bill O'Brien. I don't think Bill O'Brien's a great head coach. Lamar Jackson has John Harbaugh. Last year, until this year, Deshaun Watson did not have a great running game, and he did not have an elite offensive line, okay? Last year, Deshaun Watson, with a suspect head coach, with the worst offensive line in football, with a suspect running game, he went 11-5 and completed over 68% of his passes. Can Lamar Jackson do that? I'm not so sure. I don't think that Lamar Jackson can carry a team week to week where they say, hey, we're going to ask you to throw the ball 30 or 40 times, Lamar Jackson, and you got to put us on our back. Now, again, the thing about Lamar is you don't want to ask him to not run the football, but if he can't do it, he's not going to win games. He's just not going to beat these good teams. So over time, I think Deshaun's better. And just this year alone, Deshaun Watson has Lamar Jackson beat in completion percentage, touchdown passes, passer rating, and he has Lamar Jackson beating those areas throughout his career so far, okay? And again, I will harp back to this. The Chargers, the second time they faced Lamar Jackson, he was not very good. So I worry that Lamar Jackson, if he does not develop into being a more accurate thrower of the football consistently and a more dependable pocket passer, then teams are going to really start keying in on Lamar Jackson and figuring him out, okay? So that's my thing with Lamar. I think both quarterbacks are great. Like I said, I think both of them are top 10 quarterbacks right now. I do think that Lamar Jackson's having a slightly better year than Deshaun Watson just because he has more key victories. Deshaun Watson has a loss to Kyle Allen. He has a loss at the Saints. He's lost, who else did Deshaun Watson lose to? I forget who else Deshaun Watson lost to this year. It's escaping me right now. But again, Lamar Jackson has better wins. And what Lamar Jackson is doing running the football this year as well as passing the football is dynamic. So he might win MVP this year. But down the road, I got to roll with Deshaun Watson, the better thrower of the football. And let's not forget, guys, Deshaun Watson is still a top 3 running quarterback in the NFL right now. To me, it's Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, in whatever order you want to put them. And I think Lamar Jackson is the best runner of the football as far as the quarterback position goes. But again, Deshaun Watson, come playoff time, I'm going to take him. Deshaun Watson is the ultimate deodorant, meaning he can make it for a bad offensive line. He can make it for bad wide receiver play. He can make it for a bad, porous defense. Lamar Jackson, I don't think he can do that on a week-to-week basis. I trust that Deshaun Watson, if I don't have the best offensive line, if I don't have the best running game, if I don't have the best head coach, if I don't have the best wide receiver core, if I don't have the best defense, if I just don't have an overall great team, I trust Deshaun Watson to carry me more in games throughout the regular season and in the playoffs if need be, okay? So that's how I feel about who is better. Now, who's going to have the better career? To me, I honestly don't know. I really don't know. I'm sorry. I can't give you guys an exact answer for this. The reason is because I think Deshaun Watson is just that good. I think Deshaun has a chance to be a top 10 quarterback of all time. It's not slight that I don't feel that way about Lamar, but I have some questions about Lamar Jackson. But I feel like I'm going to lean toward saying Lamar Jackson might win more games throughout his career, because the first 16 starts of Lamar Jackson's career, he is 13-3. So Lamar Jackson up to this point, he's proven to be a better winner than Deshaun Watson. Now, do I feel that if Deshaun Watson was on the Ravens at this point instead of Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson was on the Texans instead of, Deshaun Watson, I think the Ravens get better. I think the Texans get a little bit worse. But again, my thing is, Lamar Jackson, from the time he's gotten to the NFL, has been a winner. He takes over for Joe Flacco, a former Super Bowl MVP. He goes 6-1 in his first 7 starts and leads the Ravens to the playoffs. Okay, when they were dead in the water, Lamar Jackson brought them back to earth and he led them to the playoffs. This year, Lamar Jackson is winning more games than Deshaun Watson. Now, part of it's just because he's on the better team, but again, my thing is, listen, we all know that Aaron Rodgers is an all-time great. We know that Dan Marino's an all-time great. We know Drew Brees is an all-time great. Is anyone going to sit here and say that Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Dan Marino, maybe Patrick Mahomes, based on the way his career trajectory is kind of going, because I think that Patrick Mahomes is on a trajectory where he's got to carry his team week to week. He's never going to have a great team around him, especially when they pay him about $40 million. They're never going to be $40 million per year. They're never going to be able to build a real team around him. Deshaun's kind of in that boat to some degree. Now, the Houston Texans have surrounded Deshaun Watson with a better running game, a better offensive line, and the defense has always been pretty stout. So I have faith that Deshaun will not fall into that category of, always having to carry a team consistently just because he has a defense. But no one's going to tell you that Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and Dan Marino have had better careers than Tom Brady, despite being more talented than Tom Brady, despite being more talented than Joe Montana. When we look at guys that have played the position at the highest level, to me, what comes to mind is Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning and Dan Marino, okay? But they're not going to have the same amount of rings as Terry Bradshaw, as, per se, maybe a Big Ben Roethlisberger when we're talking about Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, things like that. Per se, a Roger Staubach, a Joe Montana, or Tom Brady. Not to take anything away from those, quarterbacks, Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Roger Staubach, Terry Bradshaw, those quarterbacks that have won multiple Super Bowls. But let's call it a spade a spade. They've been on better teams. They've been in positions where they don't have to always carry the load. The beauty about what Tom Brady has going for him is that he has Bill Belichick. Okay? Deshaun Watson has Bill O'Brien on his sideline. Lamar Jackson has a Super Bowl winning coach in John Harbaugh. What does Bill O'Brien do well? I don't know what Bill O'Brien does well, because I don't think Bill O'Brien's a great head coach. And also, what's the better organization? The one that's won multiple Super Bowls, or the one that hasn't won a Super Bowl and has yet to find a GM this year? The Houston Texans, compared to the Baltimore Ravens, the Ravens are head and shoulders above the Texans as far as being a better, well-run organization. And stability is what matters. Look at Sam Darnold. Look at Baker Mayfield. Look at Daniel Jones. Look at Kyler Murray. Look at Dwayne Haskins. You know what they have to do? Jameis Winston too. You know what they have to do? They have to learn the hard way. They have to carry and uplift the entire franchise. The entire franchise is on Baker, Sam Darnold, Dwayne Haskins, Daniel Jones, Kyler Murray. They have to carry the team week to week. They're not in a position where they can sit behind an MVP Super Bowl, well, not MVP level quarterback. I'm sorry. Joe Flacco's far from that. They've not had the luxury to sit behind a Super Bowl winning quarterback and a quarterback that's won a Super Bowl and be in an organization that's a first-class, well-run organization. They don't have that luxury. Lamar Jackson had that luxury to sit and learn and develop properly. Lamar Jackson has a coaching staff that fits to his strengths. One of the reasons why Lamar Jackson is considered the best quarterback right now from his draft class, better than Baker, better than Josh Rosen, better than Sam Darnold, is because where you get drafted matters. It really does, guys. Look at all the struggling quarterbacks this year. Look at Josh Rosen. The guy got screwed. Goes to Arizona behind the worst offensive line in football. Terrible wide receivers. Terrible coaching staff. Terrible defense. He goes to Miami. The dudes around him are terrible. Miami's not a talented team. Lamar Jackson went into the perfect situation. And I think Deshaun actually went into a pretty good situation too, but not quite the situation that Lamar Jackson is in. Lamar Jackson, listen, we can all argue that based on talent, Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson are better than Lamar Jackson. But who has a better winning percentage? Oh, Lamar Jackson, the guy that plays for the better organization, the Baltimore Ravens, the guy that does not have to carry the team week to week. So I believe that, look, with both quarterbacks, you can win multiple Super Bowls. Lamar's a talented guy. He's dynamic. He's hard to stop. So far, no one has figured out Lamar Jackson except the Chargers in the playoffs, okay? So Lamar Jackson's a dynamic player. But he's also on a team that, the thing about Bill Belichick with Tom Brady is this past Super Bowl was the perfect example. Tom Brady has a guy in Bill Belichick that will keep the game close in the fourth quarter for him to close the game out. You know what Bill Belichick's defensive guru and mastermind genius self, Bill Belichick is a defensive mastermind. You know that Bill Belichick, the game plan that he's going to install, the coaching staff of the Patriots, the defenses, the offensive lines, the running games, the wide receivers that Tom Brady has had, that he's going to have support. He's not always going to have to be Superman every single drive for his team to win. I feel that way about Deshaun Watson to some degree. So Lamar Jackson has it going for him that he's in a franchise that does not ask him to do everything that Deshaun is asked to do. He's not asked to carry the team week to week like a Deshaun Watson, like an Aaron Rodgers, like a Patrick Mahomes. It's not Lamar Jackson or bust for this team. If Deshaun Watson plays bad, the Houston Texans are going to lose. If Aaron Rodgers plays bad, the Green Bay Packers are going to lose, okay? You know, go back to the Indianapolis Colts days with Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. If they played bad, the Colts were going to lose. Lamar Jackson has always had an elite offensive line. He's always had a great head coach. He's always had a great infrastructure. He's always had a scheme that fits him. So, in the end, I think Lamar Jackson has the better shot of having the better career. But however, I do believe that if you are a talented player, you can overcome a bad situation. That's how I feel about Dwayne Haskins. I felt Dwayne Haskins was the best quarterback in his draft class. I firmly believe that Dwayne Haskins is going to be the answer to the Washington Redskins. I feel like that Deshaun Watson is that special of a player that I'm actually going to take Deshaun Watson for both categories. I think Deshaun Watson, the way he plays, he's going to be able to stay more upright throughout his career and have more sustained success for a couple more years because look at Cam Newton. Cam Newton is now starting to break down. Multiple surgeries, bad foot, bad shoulder. Cam Newton is starting to break down at age 30. You want to know why? Because the way he plays is not sustainable. Well, I won't say it's not sustainable, but it hasn't been sustainable throughout history. Cam Newton, to some degree, is an exception. I think Lamar Jackson has a chance to be an exception based on his style of play, but I'm not going to bet on it. I think that the Houston Texans have surrounded Deshaun Watson with enough talent for him to win multiple Super Bowls. I think that because Deshaun Watson is a better player right now, he's a better thrower, I gotta say he's gonna have the better career. He's gonna put up better numbers throughout his career. He's gonna last longer in the NFL. And if I had to just bet my money, I see the Michael Jordan traits in Deshaun Watson that Dabo Swinney talked about. I feel like that Deshaun Watson is gonna go down as the better all-time quarterback, and he will have the better career. So overall, I think Deshaun Watson's the winner here, but hey, there's no slack against Lamar Jackson. I think he has a chance to be an all-time great. I think Lamar Jackson has a chance to win multiple Super Bowls. But again, I gotta roll with Deshaun Watson. Be sure to comment where you agree with me and disagree with me. Love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video today. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. A fun fact about me is I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world. I want to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. Kind of like Colin Cowherd, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp. You get the point. Okay, I want to do sports, television, and radio for a full living once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. So the best thing you guys can do to just help me continue to grow as a young broadcaster is to just share this channel with all your friends, because potentially if this channel really gets somewhere, I want to start my own network, okay? You know, or potentially if it doesn't, you know, or if I fall a little bit short, I want to go into a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. So the best thing you guys can do to just flat out just help me grow as a broadcaster, help me learn, you know, get other people hip to this channel, you know, just share this channel with all your friends, share this channel on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. Also, be sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. And once again, guys, just share this channel with everyone you know. Get everyone hipped and watching these videos. Get my voice out there and heard. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. It's been your boy Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in today. I really do. Have a God bless day. Stay motivated, you guys, and I'm out.